Right, good afternoon everyone and welcome to this week's Southwest Herts TV show. This is for Friday the 8th of January 2016. It's a slightly unusual show in that it's coming from a different, completely different location to usual. It's coming from Missenden Abbey, as you've just seen. As usual, we have a whole load of packed information and news from Southwest Hertfordshire. There's an awful lot of sports news, and Neal will be talking about that. Tania's going to be talking about some of the development work that's going to be happening in both Three Rivers and some of the reasons for all the traffic delays in Watford and one or two other exciting bits and pieces. And then Neal's going to be talking about, Catherine's going to be talking about some of the charity appeals that just started this year for events that are going to be taking place in the summer, but for which you need to register early. So we'll start with Neal, because Neal will be starting off the show after we've done our usual bit. Neal, you've got 4 games to review for Watford this week.
Yeah, busy. Busy Christmas period, and 4 points as I predicted, and I'll have news about the games.
Okay, that's great. And we've got Tania talking about main news. Tania, what's the main news?
So some main news that we've got is fantastic news about the developments in South Oxley, and some not so good news about some traffic congestion that's going to be happening all around Watford and Rickmansworth.
Okay, that's great. And finally, Catherine, there's a whole lot of charity stuff taking place.
Yes, that's right. There's lots of charity things happening. An awful lot to do with New Year's resolutions, getting fit, losing weight. There's some great inspirational courses out there at the moment. I shall look forward to telling you all about them a bit later on.
Okay, and Chris will be joining us as usual from later on. He'll be showing us around some of the Missenden Abbey conference facilities and talking to someone from there who explains what it is and how it works and how you can some of the offers that they have in place. Stuff like that. The reason why it's slightly dark and everything is because the room that we're sat in is not that as bright as one would wish, but it was fine earlier on. But as usual, we start up with the usual Link for Growth events for the past week, and this being the first full week of the new year, there's a full week's programme of events. On Monday, Chris went to the kitchen in Croxley and tasted the lemon drizzle cake at their evening Link for Coffee. On Wednesday, the Regis Business Centre in Clarendon Road held its first Link for Coffee for the year, which was quite well attended, and apparently there was lots of interesting discussions took place. And yesterday, Perk Coffee Shop in Carpenter's Park played host to a Link for Growth coffee down there. Again, that was obviously the first one of the year. I also hope to be bringing you a bit later on a conference report, but we're going to have to swap the order around a little bit, and we're going to talk about football first. Neal, it has been a fascinating couple of weeks for Watford. You predicted 4 points on the last show of the Christmas period, and 4 points is what they got. So as I keep saying to you, can you please do my lottery numbers for me, because if you can predict like that, it should be good. But thing is, with Watford, though, they started off really well and then they've lost the last 2. So your thoughts on all 4 games, please.
Yeah, thanks. So it was a really exciting start to the Christmas period for Watford. We beat Liverpool 3-0 in one of the most memorable performances at Vicarage Road, and really enjoyable for anyone who was there. We crushed what was supposedly a big team, which was fantastic. And then we got a point away at Chelsea, which was a hard-fought draw. And they're back on form with their new manager. They seem to have, players decided to start playing football, but we held them in their own. So this got Watford fans really excited, because we had our 4 points that I predicted. And then unfortunately against Tottenham, it was a very late goal that turns out to be a clearly offside goal that robbed us of a point. So we should have had 5 points over Christmas, and thanks to terrible linesman or assistant referee, whatever you want to call them these days, we were robbed of a point. Man City, we lost. For a vast majority of the match, it looked like we could get a win out of it. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be the case. but the players will come out with their heads held high. We played 4 top teams, and we held our own, and we showed that we are more than where we deserve to be in the top half of the table. So everyone's really excited about the rest of the season.
Yeah, okay. I mean, these 2 defeats, were they to be expected?
Well, we would have expected to get something out of the Spurs game, and as I said, we should have. The Man City game was always going to be tough, and although their away form hasn't been great, they're a top team. They're second or third in the league all season long. So I would say, we're not disappointed. They're top teams. They're where we want to get to, and therefore we're happy with the 4 points.
Okay, and being January, there's been quite a lot of transfer news, and the speculation seems endless, to put it mildly. We've talked briefly about this topic over November and December, when rumours start to fly around and everything. Now, Watford have got their eyes on 1 or 2 specific players, I understand.
Yes. So there's a couple of players that Sanchez Flores has asked the board to chase, and one being a chap called Suarez. Now that all of a sudden, when we saw the headlines, that had a lot of people thinking, no, we don't want that bitey person. But this is a different Flores. This is Mario Flores, who used to play under Flores at Atletico Madrid. He's a defending midfielder. And we do need to strengthen up the central midfield, because at the moment, as well as they're playing, we haven't got much cover in that area. And he's a favourite of Sanchez Flores, so I would imagine if we can sign him, he'll feature strongly for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and there's been some debate about Troy Deeney and Ighalo leaving Watford for Arsenal and Manchester City, or Manchester United, or someone in Manchester anyway. This is just paper talk, isn't it?
Yeah, this is definitely just paper talk. This is just mischief making by the papers and the news and Sky Sports. Nothing's going to happen. They're not moving. The owners said they're not going to sell them. Players have already said they're committed for the rest of the season. This is a project for this season, and they want to see how far they can push it. Obviously, it's incredibly flattering. Troy Deeney's son's an Arsenal supporter, so he was very disappointed when Troy told him that he was staying at Watford. Ighalo was caught in some local press just saying that Manchester United was his favourite team and it'd be hard. But he's committed to the club as well. I'd also say for their personal development, I'm not sure a move to such big clubs would really be good for them, because at the moment they're the top dogs in Watford. If they move to someone like Arsenal or Man United, they just become another player. And as good as Ighalo is, and with his goal scoring record, he's had the most shots on target this season by any Premiership player, and that seems like a great stat, but that means he's not converting as many as he could. And I could see if he went to someone like Man United, some of the misses he made, like against Manchester City, where we could have gone 2-0 up and tied the game up, the crowd would get on his back very quickly, and would he be able to keep his confidence up? Whereas the Watford fans love him so much, they don't really care about that. They just appreciate him where we are, what we're doing. So I don't think it'd be a good move for either of them. And it's not going to happen.
Okay, and the other thing is that it is quite flattering, isn't it, that these big clubs are after some Watford players. It's obviously an indication of how much progress Watford have made in the last 12 months, say.
Yeah, definitely. We've started the season where we knew it. We were under the radar for a long while, but this is definitely an indication that we're no longer under the radar, and all the other teams have started to recognise how well Watford are playing. Deeney and Ighalo are working well as a pair. I've said before, how well would they do if they went separate ways? But because we're in such a strong position, we're not only getting people talking about Watford, we're actually getting players saying they want to come to Watford. So there's a lot of paper talk about who we're going to sign. The club denied that they've offered a contract to Adebayor. We're in discussion with several other clubs, but Sanchez Flores has said it's a sign of how well we're doing that good players will want to come to Watford, and we're looking to make long-term signings that are for the beneficial of the long-term project. We're not looking for loans, we're not looking for short-term signings. So, yeah, it sounds really good. It's great that they're being recognised, and onwards and upwards.
And of course, the other thing is that Watford actually turned down a player that they wanted to sign because of the conditions that they demanded about being guaranteed first-team place. Now that must send out a clear message to anyone who wants to sign for Watford that they've got to fit in with the team ethos, which, from what you said in the past, sounds as if it's a really important reason why Watford have been so successful this season, is that the team ethos is that it's all for one and one for all.
Yeah, and any player who comes can't expect to walk straight into the first team, and that is definitely part of the ethos. As you said, Ibarra ended up going to Bournemouth, came along with his agents demanding first team football, and we very quickly saw him off. The papers didn't report it that way nationally, but locally we know very well that's what happened. Sanchez Flores has got a system. He brings people in. He likes them to learn the system and battle their way into the first team. So any player that's going to come is going to have to understand that. But you would expect that from a top half team in the Premiership. You wouldn't expect to be able to walk straight into it. So yeah, it's good. It sounds good. The players happy with it. The few that aren't are being shipped out early doors in the January window, and the people who are part of the project are still fighting for their place.
Yeah, and talking of people getting shipped out, whereas Watford in the past always seemed to be taking players from Udinese, one of their sister clubs, this time there's rumours of a Watford player going on loan to Udinese, so that really is kind of like the son becoming greater than the father.
Yeah, Diamanti, who hasn't been able to feature much at all in the first team this season, who come with a massive reputation to the club. It looks like he's going back to Udinese, which is great. And Udinese have said they won't weaken Watford because actually we are going to be the main breadwinners for the Pozzo family. But it just shows how quickly we've managed to turn it round. And whereas we were loaning all the players before from the other clubs, we look like we will now be the feeder club for them.
And very briefly, all of this success in the Premier League has actually meant a series of record attendances for Watford this season.
Yeah, so for 11 games on the trot this season, which is a continued record, we've had over 20,000 at the stadium, so that's never happened before. There's only ever been 64 times in the whole history of the club, and that includes all our other times we're in the top flight and in the Premiership. So it just shows the appetite around Watford for the football. It's amazing when you turn up and there's people taking pictures of the stadium and doing selfies with the Watford name. This is just a very strange thing as a long-term Watford supporter to see, that all of a sudden it's a thing to come and visit Vicarage Road for just as a tourist. It's amazing.
How many years have you been following Watford?
Oh, I can't. My first game was a friendly against Vancouver Whitecaps, which would have been in the very early 80s. My dad got me a season ticket in the family stand, even though he didn't like football, and I thank him for it.
Okay, so obviously long-standing, so you can talk about the attendance then with some degree of authority. But tomorrow, instead of the Premier League game, it's the FA Cup third round, and then on is it Tuesday or Wednesday they're playing Southampton in the league. So let's talk about the Newcastle game. Will there be many changes to the team for the FA Cup?
Well, Sanchez Flores has said there won't be that many, but I'd be very surprised if there wasn't at least 4. He's kept a consistent team for 4 games on the trot in a very short period of time, so they're all going to be leg weary. They're all going to be getting quite tired now. So personally would be surprised if there aren't changes, at least 4. The FA Cup seems to have taken a back seat for many Premiership teams these days because the money in the Premiership is so huge. And as disappointing as it is, probably as a fan, I wouldn't be surprised if Watford take the same attitude. It would be great to have a cup run, but the Premier League is far more important in the long term.
Will they win tomorrow?
Well, Newcastle have said they're going to put a strong team out because they haven't got past the 4th round for some time now, and they consider themselves to be a big club, and they need to go far in these sort of tournaments. Even so, the players coming in have been biting at the bit, and they've been sitting on the bench waiting for their chance. So, and Newcastle have been poor this season, really, really poor. I mean, the old adage is it's the cup and anything can happen, but I don't see how they can beat us, in all honesty.
Okay, and the Southampton game, what's going to happen there? Watford need to win in a way to kind of stop the slump in the league, don't they?
Yeah, although I said before, the confidence won't have taken a knock from those defeats because we played so well. We do need to get back on winning ways, and Southampton is a good opportunity. They've had a bad run of results, albeit with a really freakish 4-0 win over Arsenal over the Christmas period. We'll be looking to win that, and I expect them to get 3 points from that game.
Okay, thanks for that, Neil. Let's just briefly talk about Kings Langley. They're expecting to be in the playoffs, but they expect it to be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it's an incredibly tight league, and they can't seem to get a really good run together. They have a few wins, and they're back in the playoff positions, and they lose a couple, and they're dropping out. But they're there and thereabouts, and they just need to keep it up, keep doing what they're doing. They've got this week. They are away at Goldming, and they're 14th in the league, so they'll be expecting to win that. And that's after a draw and a loss. So even though they've had a draw and a loss, this is their opportunity yet again to get back on an even keel and get back up towards those playoff positions.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, there is a slight delay on this line and everything. I mean, over the holiday, they drew 1-4-4, which is quite exciting, isn't it? I mean, that's quite a rare event, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I don't know if it's my imagination or confirmation bias, but there seems to be at Christmas time. There's a lot of these results. I don't know why it is. I don't know if people been celebrating who shouldn't be celebrating. Players aren't as fresh in the mind or in the legs as they should be, but you do seem to get a lot of these weird results around Christmas time.
Yeah, and then they lost their other game over the Christmas period 2-0. Yeah, they lost over the Christmas period 2-0.
Yeah, and that'll be the disappointing one because it was against Northwood, who are local rivals, so they'll be very disappointed in that result. But they're still there and thereabouts. It's all to play for, and as their manager says, he expects to be in the playoff positions. So they've got the right attitude, and there's no reason they can't.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Neil. The reason we put the sport on first is because I know that you've got to get back to Watford quite urgently and everything. So thanks very much for taking part, and have a safe trip back home.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and really enjoyed today at the conference. Just got some news that's coming that Tania hasn't got on her list, so I just thought I'd talk about it. There's a lot of stories floating around about Herts County Council trying to stop the funding for the 142 and the 258 buses running from Bushy to Watford. And if anyone jumps online, looks for a petition, there's lots of people now jumping in to try to stop this happening, because anyone who uses those buses will know they're full, standing room only during the rush hour. They're one of the main links up to Bushy. Not only that, it's an extremely busy route, and it's an extremely busy route that if all those people using those buses then have to start taking alternate forms of transport, it's just going to gridlock those roads. It's completely nonsensical, and it has to be stopped. So look out for news on that. Try to get involved where you can. Sign petitions. Write to your MP. Write to your council. Write to the county council. We've got to stop this happening. So we need to keep the 142 and the 258. So that's just my little bit of news, and I'll hand over.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Neal. Not only sport, but hot transport news as usual and everything, which is really good. And we also have a special guest with us today, and that is Jean Flower. And Jean is going to talk about the conference here today and give us a very quick summary. Yeah.
No, it isn't. Oh. No, it's Linda. Jean chickened out. It's Linda.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, it's me again.
It's Linda at the famous lemon drizzle cake.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. We've been talking a lot about the conference today and everything, and how much people have enjoyed it, and how much energy they've got from it. What are your main highlights of the day and of the show? What do you think has worked well, and what do you think is going to happen for Link for Growth in South West Herts over the next 12 months?
Wow. Well, with regard to today, I think that it has been a really interesting and informative day for myself. I guess Chris would say, if you asked him, that I was perhaps a little bit sceptical about the whole Link for Growth thing when I first found out about it, and many of the people I associate with were a little bit wary that it all sounded too good to be true. So coming to conference and actually hearing a whole series of speakers talk about the vision and where it's come from and where it's going and the structure, and meeting so many amazing people, that's been fantastic for me. And I know people are talking about the energy in the room, and it's not really a sort of expression I use very much, but actually I think you could feel the atmosphere and the excitement, and it was just lovely to be in a room where there was just so much positivity. You felt like with this group of people around you, you probably could achieve pretty much anything.
So, what have been the key points for you on a personal note from the year? I mean, is it from the conference? Is it the energy? Is it everything that's happening? Is it something less specific than that?
So I didn't hear the first part of your question.
What's the thing that you want to take away from the day?
Okay. Yeah. No. So I think what I felt I wanted to take away most of all was that up until this point, it's very much as if I've hosted Link for Growth meetings in my kitchen, and because we live nearby to Watford, Chris would generally come along, and I would see him as sort of like the leader and the facilitator, or whatever you would call it. But I think I go away from the conference now with a much better understanding of Link for Growth and a feeling that I want to take more ownership of them. And I know lots of people that are interested that I've begun to talk to about Link for Growth, and I think they will now begin to come. So I'm hoping that the groups in Croxley will take on more of an identity and become, specifically Croxley groups, and that, that's going to benefit, well, obviously, the place where I'm working, the kitchen, but also the wider community in Croxley. So I think I just feel I've got a better understanding.
Very, very briefly, people hear you talking about the kitchen, they might think it's your domestic kitchen, but that's the name of your coffee and cake shop, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Yes, quick plug time. Yeah.
And it's just in the parade opposite the Croxley rail station. It's in the parade opposite the Croxley rail station, isn't it?
That's absolutely right. Yes, that's absolutely right. Sorry, there's a lot of sort of like background noise for people who've had a great day at conference and are enjoying chatting and sharing what was going on.
Yeah, and of course you've won prizes for your baking as well, haven't you?
Yes. I won a prize at Fortnum and Mason. Won first prize. That was a couple of years ago, and then this year we won a Baking Industry Award as well. So, but I think the biggest prize actually was making that cake for the conference today. I think that there's not really anything quite to match that at the moment.
It was actually very impressive. I took some pictures. I know other people are taking pictures as well, so we'll post those up later, and you can see Linda's handiwork.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you very much for that, Linda, and thank you for the cake. I haven't had any yet.
There's a piece out here for you, Diane, when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. And if you want to know who sent Chris down to make ask you to make mince pies, I'm afraid I have to stick my hand up just before Christmas.
Fantastic. Okay.
Okay, well, thanks very much for coming on the show, and we'll see you around in the next few weeks and months, hopefully.
Will do. Thank you, Diane.
That's okay, thank you. Okay, well, it's back to the normal news and everything, and Tania is with us as usual today, and she's had a busy day. She's been speaking at the conference and giving everyone lots of positive energy and passing it round and handing it out, and it's absolutely endless. There's more energy in Tania there is in certain oil fields of the world, I think. And anyway, big news is, and it is huge news because it's been in discussion for several weeks and months, if not, well, in fact, years and years, is the redevelopment of South Oxley and the precinct there. And the contract's been agreed for this redevelopment, Tania.
It absolutely... There we go. It absolutely has, Diane. And yes, this has been in the offing for very, very many years, and it's brilliant that it's now, well, in my opinion, it's brilliant that it's now been agreed. Three Rivers District Council selected the Countryside and Home Group as the preferred bidder for the project in May this year, and they've got it. The council is very pleased to formally entered into the contract with Countryside and Home Group, and we're very much looking forward to working in collaboration to deliver the new high-quality homes and shops that South Oxley needs. And it looks really, really exciting. There's a 7-storey building with shops on the first floor and then 6 levels of flats on the top to be built on the corner of the existing precinct near Fairfield Avenue. Station Approach is going to be completely redeveloped, and they're going to call it the gateway to the town centre. New roads joining Bridlington Road and Prestwick Road. 4-storey blocks of flats along Bridlington Road, and actually there's flats and buildings going up and being redeveloped throughout the whole of South Oxley. It really looks good. 248 of the 514 new homes will be 2-bedroom flats, and 146 will be 1-bedroom flats. So on the affordable side of housing for small families and individual people, unfortunately just 96 of those 514 new homes will be affordable homes, but at least there's a whole range of homes going in that are going to be small homes that will be on the more affordable side. It's not huge mansions that we're building here. It's places for people to live, a community for people to live in. And having looked at the online pictures about this area, you know, I enjoy living on my boat, but this looks quite nice. I can't put my boat in the middle of it though, Diane.
Well, I'm sure if there's a way of doing so, you would find a way of doing it. Yeah, I'm sure that would happen. Now, if you've been driving around Watford recently, you may have noticed that there's been 1 or 2 roadworks, and in fact, there seems to be quite a lot of roadworks, and this is just part of a large ongoing scheme that's going to be happening over the next 6 to 8 weeks or so, isn't it, Tania?
That's it exactly, Diane. And it looks as if there are 3 main areas within Watford that are going to be really affected by this. So we have heard before about the redevelopment behind the hospital and the new link road that's going behind the hospital. So commuters, please avoid Wigan Hall Road for the next around 6 weeks from 11th of January, because southbound traffic from Watford down to Oxley and the Eastbury Road area, Bushy area, will be restricted. Will not be available. The southbound side is closed, so only northbound traffic on that road. And real development opportunity there, you know, lots of things going on, lots of improvements being made, but if we can avoid that area for that period of time, then actually we'll find our lives much, much easier. The second area that they're redeveloping, which I have to say sounds really quite nice, is in the town centre. they're changing the national cycle route on the High Street and Lower High Street to connect it to the National Cycle Route 6 near the fire station, so down the bottom of the Lower High Street there. They'll also be upgrading the crossing over Exchange Road so that pedestrians and cyclists can cross over both sides of Lower High Street. What I also read was that they're widening the pavement, so the shops and cafes down there will be able to put their seats and tables out for us to sit down. And I have to say, that's quite a nice wide road there for us to be able to sit and enjoy just what's going on. And it's quite a nice road, not too much pollution. Should be really quite nice to have the Lower High Street redeveloped. Finally, the third thing is, of course, the major redevelopment that we've got going on at Charter Place in the centre of town. And there's some very heavy traffic, truck traffic that's going to be going around. So if we can avoid, let's put it this way, if you can walk to the centre of town, it's going to be much, much easier for you. If you can cycle to the centre of town, it's going to be much, much easier for you. And just think of all the wonderful things that are going to be happening that we'll have time to enjoy at the end of it. Lovely.
Okay, well, Chris has just joined us, and we'll come back to more. We'll finish off the news, and then we'll go to Chris. This section of news, because this is Ricky Roadworks, and Ricky Station Road is going to be closed again for about 6 weeks or so, starting tomorrow week.
That's right, Dan. Are we there? That's right, Diane. That's it. Yes, we've heard about this before Christmas. If you remember, before Christmas, there was lots of discontent in Rickmansworth because the road was, the station road was closed just before Christmas there, when it's the busiest time of year for those people who live and work in that area. And what they did was they found that extra work needed to be done, so they moved that extra work to after Christmas to make to help all of the people who live and work in that area, especially the small businesses there. Lots of lovely small businesses that were being very heavily affected by this. So this is a road closure that's going to help with the Transport for London, the bridge which carries the Metropolitan line trains. It's nearly 130 years old and was in need of planned repair work, and a bridge deck to be replaced in Easter as well. So this is from the 8 p.m. on Saturday the 16th of January to 8 a.m. Monday the 8th of February 2016. Station Road will be closed again, and please use diversions.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, because Chris has got someone from Missenden Abbey with him, we'll switch to Chris and we'll come back and finish the news with you later. But first, I would like to just thank you for the South West Herts engineering news. Chris.
Hello.
Hi, where are you?
I'm in the reception of Missenden Abbey.
Right, okay, I wondered because it sounds very accurate. But we've had a great day here at the first National Intergrowth Conference at Missenden Abbey Conference Centre.
Yeah, it's very good, wasn't it? I enjoyed it. Yeah, so it's all kind of finishing up here now. There's lots of clearing up to be done, but I have to disappoint you because I can't find anybody from here that's able to do this interview, believe it or not. We've missed everybody that could have done it, and the ones left don't want to do it. So we're kind of in the lurch. But if you want me to do a little bit of a walk around, I can go outside and show a little bit of the building, which is actually a fascinating building.
Yeah, and whilst you're doing that, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the place. And I know it's a venue for a Link for Coffee event from, is it West Herts and South Bucks?
That's right, we have a coffee here once a month, and on our first Friday, which would have been New Year's Day this year. Just checking, Diane, I did mute myself, so have you checked to make sure that you've, I'm not being recorded and all that?
Well, as far as I can tell, Chris, you're not muted.
I'm okay. All right, no problem. So let me put the camera on front camera, and I'll have a wander around and talk you through. So here's where we all come in here at the reception here, and this is what you're confronted with when you come in, which is all really rather nice. We normally have the coffee around the corner here. There's a bar area around here, and we normally you'll see a few familiar faces here. And there's actually Catherine in the corner. So we actually have the coffee there. But there's some other interesting things outside, which I'm going to just go and show you. But yeah, the tapestry on the wall here look really rather nice, and you don't notice these things unless you look out for them. But it's a lovely. I don't know if you can still see this, but it's a lovely ornate building. It used to be a monastery many years ago, and it had a fire here. But you can see they've restored it in as sort of sympathetic way as they possibly could. I think they had some of the drawings and stuff. So it's actually really rather nice. And we had a conference over there. You won't be able to see it, but beyond those lights, there's another building, which is where we had the conference today. So all pretty good. I'll walk back in now. They had a Christmas fair here before Christmas, and it was all around here, all along these bits here. But it was also kind of down in this other area, which I may have access to, I may not. But very interesting features here as well. But yeah, so this is the restaurant, I think. But this was all decked out with. Yes, it's set up as a restaurant around here, which you wouldn't know about unless you took the time to come round here. I'm not sure whether they're open this evening, but I hope so, because I'm staying here. So all looks rather nice. So it's a lovely place. Now it's a conferencing and banqueting place, this one, and it's about 100 yards past the end of High Street. So what happens is that people think there's nothing else afterwards. There's this real lovely building which is kind of nobody knows it's here, and you can stay here overnight. You can that probably sounded worse than it was, but it sounded pretty bad.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. That sounds like it was where Catherine is, which so there used to be more noise now than there was a minute ago. But yeah, so you can actually stay here for a night, have a meal, and they're quite reasonable rates. But it's a bit off the beaten track, so people don't really know it's it. Hopefully, having a conference here today and with all the tweeting going on, we can hopefully have helped them promote themselves a bit and up the ante for them, which I do hope we can. They've the coffee's here for us on a Friday. We kind of get the venue for nothing, and we get the coffee for nothing as well, which is so. I'm happy that we're able to put some money back in their pockets today and support them, which has been fantastic.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Chris. I think we'll leave you with a dustpan and brush to speak up, and we're doing some more than anticipated. We'll come back to the main news, and Tania's got some on engineering news for us in a moment. We're just going to shut one or two doors. The noise is actually building, but that's really good. Okay, so I'm going to say cheerio.
Yep, cheerio, and thank you for being at the conference today. I think we all had a great time. So.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much, Chris. Okay, and as I said, today we've had, it's been the first Link for Growth conference. Obviously, someone out there's had a smashing time. Okay, excuse the puns. But we do actually have non-engineering news from South West Hertfordshire, non-architectural building news as well. And Tania's rejoined me for the rest of that. But the first thing is, we talked before Christmas about a petition to stop the cells being closed at Watford Police Station, and there's been some progress made, Tania.
There has been. There has been, Diane. 500 people, more than 500 people have signed the petition calling on the Crime Commissioner to pledge support for Watford Police Station. Now, we've got 5 years. He's already pledged 5 years to keep the station open in Shady Lane in Watford. But the change has been that they're now moving the custody suite over to Hatfield, which of course takes hours to up to 4 hours to drive people over there, and that's our police people that are being taken off the streets and being taken away from Watford to drive people over there. But crime has of course gone down in recent years, so maybe this is the right time to do it. Anyway, 500 people have signed the petition calling on the Crime Commissioner to pledge support for Watford's police station. He's already said that he'll pledge it for the next 5 years, but the Lib Dems are getting behind the plan as well, so that's really good news.
Okay, and the Herts Borough Council have had some good news as well. They've received a grant of just over £250,000.
That's right, Diane. £250,000, £277,000 of grant funding to help deliver what's called the Elstree Way Corridor. They call it the EWC Housing Zone. The Elstree Way Corridor Housing Zone. So this is funding that's on top of, I think it was 5 million somewhere else in this report, 3 million funding, which the council secured as a loan to help fund infrastructure associated with the new homes being delivered. But this is for project management, planning, design and legal matters, and any other costs as separate to that 3 million that they've already got. So they've got an area of action plan for the corridor which was approved last July, and actually what they're delivering with this £3,277,000 is 1,000 additional new homes in the centre of Boreham Wood. It's an important gateway to Boreham Wood. The EWC, the Elstree Way Corridor, is an important gateway to Boreham Wood town centre. And it runs from the double mini roundabout on Elstree Way up to the Tesco roundabout on Shenley Road. So some really good development going on there. New homes for the area, well needed, well needed.
Okay, and okay, it's the reason for the feedback is that Tania and I set up in the same room thinking we weren't going to have any problems, and we have, unfortunately. But anyway, we're going to carry on because that's what the kind of people we are. Neal talks about recycling and recycling at Christmas, and the Watford Borough Council have issued a reminder to everyone to recycle, haven't they?
Yes, they have, Diane. Absolutely, well done. We got that one. We got the switch really well. Yeah, any of you that have still got real Christmas trees out there, please remember that you can recycle these. These go to make really good compost that's used in our parks and in local agriculture all the way across the borough. So residents are encouraged by the council to leave out your bin men will take these things away. So if you just leave it out with your green wheelie bin for recycling, even if you leave it next to your bin, it's too big to get in your bin with all of that paper that you've already got in there. Remember the paper that you scrunch up in your hands that doesn't, when you open, automatically go wild again. That paper is okay. So if you scrunch it and it stays scrunched, that paper is okay to put into your recycling bin. But also the Christmas trees. Anything over 6 feet tall, please look after our delivery men, our bin men, and cut them in half, because a 6 foot tree is quite heavy and we don't want them to be hurting themselves when they fling it in the back of the van. So please remember, if you've got a real tree, recycle it along with anything else that you can recycle from Christmas. Remember those little mince pie cases? I heard the other day that 6 of those is enough power to do an hour of the TV or something. If you recycle 6 of those, it's enough to power an hour of TV. Something like that. Something amazing. So please get on the recycling bandwagon.
Okay, well that's obviously really good. But something that's not so good is Thameslink services. Now Thameslink runs sort of right down the eastern edge of South West Herts district, and they've been rated the worst for customer satisfaction according to a Commute London survey.
They have done. They have, Diane. Now, when I first saw these stats, I thought, you know, they're not that bad. And maybe this is just that people in the Thameslink area have got really high expectations of the train services that they need. But that's not the case, because it's the same area as London Midland, and London Midland is squarely in the middle of the pot. So, you know, Thameslink must really be, I counsel my words here, upsetting their customers at the moment. In a recent survey, they're the worst customer satisfaction, right way down at the bottom. Now, what is the scale? The scale is from 20 to 80, and the best is at about 73, and Thameslink, as the worst in the scale, is at 34.5. So it's not a very big scale, but that's a fairly big scale to be the bottom of. Especially when London Midland of the same sort of areas in this area, same sort of customers in this area are way in the middle, and of course your long ones, your Virgins and your East Coast Main Line are the ones that are the top of the list. And it was done by users of an app, Commute London, an app which allows commuters to tell others what's happening during their commute and how well the train lines are performing, how other users are experiencing it. So Thameslink might just want to have a look at that and see what they're doing. Maybe it's to do with the service. Don't know. Don't know. Not good.
Okay, and very briefly, we talked about one of them being busy collecting stuff and recycling, but there's going to be delays in parts of Bushy due to police activity, I understand.
I heard that too, Diane, and I don't know what the police activity is, but there is a request, at the request of the police, who are conducting investigations into an incident in Bushy on the 5th of January. The waste crews at Valoya haven't been able, in Hertsmere, haven't been able to get to the Bushy Road area. So they're going to come back, don't worry. It's not going to be for a long period of time. They're coming back, but there's been some incident over there that clearly the police are still investigating, and the collection men, the waste collection people, couldn't get to those areas. Now these areas are Bushy Grove Road, Bushy Hall Road, including flats 61 to 63, Aldenham Road, Saxby Court, Walker Lodge, Colne Road, Colne Lodge, and Arrowmore Court. They've not been emptied, so they're coming back to get you. They're coming back to collect all of that waste, but they apologise for the inconvenience in the meantime.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Tanya. Sorry we had to interrupt you midway through, but my understanding was that Chris was going to have someone with him to talk about the building here and the facilities and everything, but that's the way it goes. But thank you, as always, for some really useful news and interesting news there. Pardon, what was that?
I just called over to your microphone, that's fine. Sorry.
It's kind of chaotic here today. Catherine.
Hello.
Restore some sanity.
How exactly would you like me to do that?
Well, I thought you might start talking off about Nordic skiing in Watford.
Nordic walking.
Oh, sorry.
Nordic walking. Now, this is starting on Friday the 22nd of January for 6 weeks. Residents can join a free Nordic walking course in Castlebury Park. Emphasis on free. Why not do it? Let's all get fit this year. It's led by an experienced instructor. Course runs from 11:30 till 12:30. You don't even need your own poles. They will give you poles for the course. You don't need any experience either. So just turn up. It's a gentle introductory course, providing a workout for the whole body in the fresh air through the park. The beautiful surroundings of Castlebury Park. Residents are encouraged to attend all 6 sessions to get the full benefit of the course. Meet at Gade Avenue car park, wear suitable outdoor clothing and footwear. Bear in mind we've had a lot of rain. Booking is essential. Please contact Debbie via email. I'll post this up at the end of the show so you've got the contact. And this is Friday, 22nd of January for 6 weeks.
Okay, and it's the time of year when, of course, we all think, oh, why did I have that extra mince pie? Why did I have that? Why did I do this? And we're all kind of feeling a bit unfit and healthy. And Three Rivers District Council have come up with some ideas to keep you fit in 2016.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, there's actually a whole list of things here, from swimming, park run, table tennis, beginners power hoop. That sounds like a great deal of fun. Beginners spin, netball, beginners netball. So don't feel that you have to have any experience in these things. The idea is to go along, meet some new friends, have some fun and get fit at the same time. There's mums and daughters boxercise, beginners running, tea dance, free health walks, dancing, fit steps, beginners Pilates, walking football. Now that sounds like a good idea, particularly if you don't fancy getting puffed out with all that running up and down the pitch. It looks like a lot of hard work. Walking football sounds great. Beginners badminton and the Nordic walking that I've just mentioned as well. I'll put this resource up on the links part of this at the end of the show. There's a whole range of things that Three Rivers District Council have put on their website to say, just come along, get involved. Majority of it's free, so why not go along and have some fun and get fit at the same time.
Okay. And if you haven't had enough indulgence already, there's another opportunity to indulge yourself through the Michael Sobel Hospice.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, we often speak about the Michael Sobel Hospice. They do a great job of looking after people in their hour of need, not just those in the hospice, but obviously the families as well. Yeah, an evening of indulgence. And this isn't just about eating cake. We did that at Christmas. This is all about making yourself feel better. So there's massages, there's many makeovers, Indian head massage. If you've never had one before, do. It's a great experience. There's foot spas, there's House of Colour, this is where they decide what colours you should be wearing for next winter's fashion, tombola, raffle. The ticket price includes a glass of bubbly, which is a fantastic idea. Tickets are £16, so including a glass of bubbly, and a goodie bag as well, so there'll be all sorts of bits and pieces from those people involved in the show there as well. There's things to buy, there's hairdressing, there's lavender cupcakes, they sound fab, natural oils, and lots of things to get involved with there. So this is a Wednesday, the 10th of February, 7 o'clock till 10 in the evening at the London School of Theology. That's at Green Lane in Northwood. Have fun.
Okay, and we're already starting to talk about registering for events in the summer. So Michael Sobel are offering an early bird offer for their Ladies in the Night walk.
Yes, Ladies in the Night. I love the title. Someone's obviously gone to a lot of trouble to come up with that. Ladies in the Night walk, early bird offers. So if you get in quick, you can actually get a discount of only £10 entry for individuals. So that's obviously a saving on whatever it's going to go up to after that. It takes place on Friday, the 10th of June, 10:30 in the evening. Obviously, it's a night walk. So pop the date in your diary, book early to get that valuable discount. You can enter as individuals in teams of 10 or more until the end of March. It's, again, a great way to support a local hospice. Michael Sobel Hospice are based in Northwood, Mount Vernon. Last year, over 1,100 of their supporters took part and raised over £126,000. So obviously the idea is to get lots of sponsorship and help the hospice. That's Friday the 10th of June, but register early. I think you've got to register until the end of January, you get that discount.
Okay, and it's soon going to be London Marathon time. I mean, I think they do it every March, April time, don't they? So it comes around quite quickly, and the St Francis Hospital are looking for people who have been accepted to run on their behalf.
That's right, yeah. It's very difficult to actually get to run in a London Marathon, and I know this through the Michael Green Foundation, the charity that I work with. We had a runner last year who actually had an individual application accepted, and he decided to run for us. So if you're an individual that's been accepted as someone who can run the London Marathon, because it's a hard race to actually get into the marathon in the first place. If you've got a place and you want to run for a local charity, Michael Sobel is saying, please come and run for us. Sorry, there's a hospice of St Francis, so please come and run for us. So the marathon is on Sunday the 24th of April. You're right, it seems to come around quicker each year. It's a huge event. If you've never been, do go and support whoever's running for you as well. It's a fantastic event to actually be at. The hospice will supply you with a t-shirt to wear whilst training, and also an exclusive personalised hospice running vest to wear with pride on the day. So if you're interested, do get hold of them at fundraising@stfrancis.org.uk, but I'll post that up afterwards again as a link so you can get involved. Again, another good way to get fit.
Okay, and it's not often that you win by being the biggest loser, is it?
You know, when I saw this Biggest Loser, there was a song years ago, wasn't there? The Biggest Loser. I won't go into it now, but that's what it reminded me of. You're right, yeah. The Biggest Loser wins in this case. This starts this month, and this is again for the Hospice of St Francis, getting involved in something where you lose weight, but you earn money for a great cause as well. They ran this particular event last year, and all the participants that took part lost a staggering £500. That's 35.5 stone between them. But what's even more amazing is that following the nutrition plan, they lost on average 25% of their body weight in that 12-week course as well. Now that's a really big thing, especially after Christmas. We're all feeling a little bit more bulky than we were to start with. So this is a course that runs from the 4th of January to the 30th of April. It's a 12-week course. And you can register. Again, I'll post the details online. And obviously, while you're losing your weight, you're raising money through sponsorship for the hospice itself. When you subscribe to the 12-week course, the course is sponsored by Sportspace. They have experts Dan and James. I'm in already. You can see the photo. You'll see why. They'll give you all the support that you need to keep you going. The generous team at Sportspace also provides you with nutrition workshop, 6 personal training sessions to use throughout the challenge, as well as group training and weekly weigh-in sessions. So they're really keeping an eye on what's going on. You'll also receive a free Sportspace Gold membership for 12 weeks, including access to exercise classes, the swimming pool, and their well-equipped modern gym. Across all their sites, so this is obviously Sportspace wherever they have a building. So altogether that's more than £500 worth of personalised support and expertise that they're offering, and all they're asking you to do is to raise money and sponsorship. There is a minimum amount that they're asking you to raise. They're asking you to raise £500 in sponsorship. So they're giving, you're giving, and the hospice benefits in the long run. There's lots of lovely prizes as well, including gold membership to Sportspace. Runners up get prizes as well. It's a fantastic thing to get involved in. It's inspirational. You're doing a great deal of good for the hospice, and also a personal goal to achieve as well in losing some weight, getting a bit fitter for the year.
It's a very important year for the Peace Hospice, isn't it? It's their 25th anniversary, and there are a whole range of activities coming up, some of which we've already talked about, like the dance competition and firewalks and memory trees and stuff like that. But they've got a whole range of things going on to celebrate their 25 years, haven't they?
Yes, it's an exciting time. I mean, if you go onto their website at all, you'll see that there's a whole array of things really to suit every sort of person, every sort of interest that you might have. You can think, oh, well, I don't fancy that, but I fancy that. Just a couple that we were going to mention. As you said, we mentioned it on the last show, I think. Their Strictly Come Hospice 25th anniversary special. Bring out the dancer in you. So obviously everybody loves Strictly Come Dancing. Everybody was glued to their TVs while that was on a Saturday night. Well, now you can actually get involved and do it yourself. You know, it's a fantastic thing to actually, again, get fit, but have some fun, make some friends, and obviously raise some money for the Peace Hospice in Watford. So it's starting in January. They'll provide you with 7 weeks of ballroom dancing lessons led by dance professionals. There'll be a grand finale in front of a live audience and judges. That's friends, family, whoever you want to invite to come and take part on the show day. And obviously there will be a winner. The judges will decide which couple will win at the end of it. Places are restricted to 20 couples. And half the places have actually now been taken. So if you want it involved, do get a move on and register your interest, which you can do online at events@peacehospicecare.org.uk. Please make sure to include Strictly 2016 in your subject line. I hope you can hear me all right. It's getting quite loud in here again.
Oh, with the breaking plates and the crockery and all the pinching, and the guy walking past with a white shirt on and black trousers, you would like to reassure us you're not actually broadcasting from the kitchen, wouldn't you?
You might think that I am, but no, honestly, I felt so sorry for this girl. She was carrying a whole tray full of mugs, and the whole lot went everywhere. That was the big crash that you heard earlier. But it was quite dramatic here for a moment. Back to Strictly Come Hospice. First lesson takes place on Sunday the 24th of January, and then every Sunday morning for the following 7 weeks. Lessons take place at the YMCA gym in Watford, so a nice central location. Grand finale will be on the 13th of March at Watersmead Theatre. So if you're interested, have a look online. Again, I'll post the link up. It's easy to register. Get involved.
Okay, that's great. And the Peace Hospice are also running a weight loss program called Pounds for Pounds.
Yeah, Pounds for Pounds. Again, a nice catchy title. I like these headings. They're looking for 30 people who want to lose weight, join their course, lose weight, feel great, taking part in their 12-week Pounds for Pounds program. They're providing you with gym access and personal trainer sessions, nutrition advice, and weekly special Pounds for Pounds class and weigh-in sessions. At the end of the 12 weeks, you'll get a chance to show off your fabulous new figure to friends and family at their grand finale, where one person will be crowned the Pounds for Pounds champion. I'm guessing the person that's lost the most pounds. So the programming includes free gym access and classes, weekly group class weigh-in sessions, personal training sessions, nutritional and diet advice, all very important. It's exercise and diet combined. Talks and advice from health and wellbeing professionals. You get a mini makeover and a pamper session when you win. It's a fantastic thing to get involved in. The weekly weigh-ins and the sessions will take place on every Thursday, with the first session on Thursday, the 7th of January. Again, you need to register your interest online. I'll post the link up. That's going to be my catchphrase. I'll post the link up.
Okay, great. And it's not often we talk about job opportunities, but the Peace Hospice are holding an open recruitment day.
Yes, I'm going to pretend I heard what you said there, because it's really noisy here with the coffee machine going down as well. But I'm guessing what you mentioned was a recruitment open day for the Peace Hospice.
I did. You're going to have some to be quiet.
They have a wide range of paid and volunteering opportunities. They're looking to recruit, basically. So there's a day where you can drop in on Wednesday, the 20th of January, between 2 and 6:30 at the Peace Hospice, Peace Drive, Watford. Everybody in Watford should know where that is. You really can't miss the building. So basically just turn up on the day between 2:30 and 4:30. You'll hear an overview of everything that they do in terms of the care work that they provide from their Chief Executive, Declan Carroll. They're looking to recruit registered general nurses, senior healthcare assistants, assistant shop managers, volunteers in a wide range of roles, bank staff, all skills including clinical, and education coordinator. So it's important that a charity provides care to patients and families facing a life-limiting illness. We all know what the hospice does. You could actually be interviewed and be offered a job by the end of the day and help them to continue in that fantastic work. So that's 2 till 6:30 on Wednesday the 20th of January. Drop-in session, go along.
Okay, that's great. And finally, the Peace Hospice are opening up another shop, but this time in St Albans.
Absolutely, yeah, this is great. Yeah, St Albans, I don't think they have any shops in St Albans at the moment, so I'm guessing this is their first over in that area. So the grand opening is on Friday the 22nd of January, 11 o'clock in the morning. The shop is located at 85 St Peter Street. It's in the High Street, not far from the marketplace. You can't really miss it. Pick up a bargain and go and say hello to the new team. Well done, Peace Hospice.
Okay, that's great. And you'll be back a bit later on with the restaurant review, because I know you're talking to you offline and everything. You've been to a couple of fabulous restaurants over the Christmas period. So we look forward to seeing your review then. But in the moment, for now, I'm just going to talk about what's happening with Link for Growth in South West starting next week. Well, starting this evening, it's one of the reasons why Neal had to dash off. At Reason Coffee and Bookshop, there is a yellow comedy evening. It's free, but you do pay to leave, as the joke says. Free to get in, but you pay to leave. The doors open at 7:30. The gig starts at 8 o'clock. And what you do is when you leave, you just make a contribution to help them with their running costs. The headliner is a guy called Andy Stedman, who is very, very funny. There are 6 other comedians, including the very funny and unique Arthur Turner. Now, that's someone who I know that Catherine really enjoys.
I think Alex enjoyed him as well, didn't he? There's some wonderful photos of Alex with Arthur Turner.
Yes, I've promised Alex I'm never going to publish them.
He's going to hate me for mentioning it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But he is also exceedingly funny. I've seen him several times. Each time you see Arthur Turner, it is a different experience and always very, very funny. Tomorrow at Barracuda on Watford Market, Chris is going to be hosting a Link for Coffee between, he says between 10 and 11:30, but the website says between 1 and 2:30. So obviously something's not quite right there, but let's assume it's the usual time. So Chris will be at Barracuda, which is the coffee shop next to the market entrance on the High Street, between 10 and 11:30. So it's a great opportunity for people to go along, chat to Chris and discover more about Link for Growth and how it works. Chris is down there most Saturdays. The other event that's coming up this weekend is we have a second free yellow comedy show. It's at the Pump House Theatre and Arts Centre, which is down the bottom of the High Street, down near the Nissan dealers in Local Board Road. It starts at 7. It starts at 8. The doors opening at 7:30. The headliner is the very sharp and very funny David McIver, who, again, as I said, I've seen on several occasions. Each time he's been excellent. So I would recommend both the yellow comedy gigs. Also scheduled to appear on Sunday are Michael Hill, the Reverend Henry King, who is very funny as well, Aaron Simmons, Claire Nelson, and Tanel Botsman. Andrew Carberry will be emceeing both of this weekend's events, and he is really good at this kind of interactive comedy and audience participation comedy. On Monday, Reason Coffee Shop and Bookshop, Neal's Coffee Shop, will be holding Link for Coffee between 10 and 11:30. Neal's Coffee Shop is on the top of the parade, right next to the underpass that takes you through to the town hall. On Wednesday, the Fox and Hounds in Rickmansworth High Street will be hosting the first Link for Drinks district meeting. That will be starting at 7 o'clock down there. The Fox and Hounds pub is, as I said, on the High Street, and it's next to Martin Spencer's in Rickmansworth, so it's very easy to get to. And then on Thursday, Catherine, you're going to be hosting a Link for Coffee at the Mercure Hotel on the A41 just outside Watford between 10 and 11:30, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for anybody who's got an hour and a half to spare on Thursday morning, come along to the Mercure Hotel. I say it's on the A41, easy to find, loads of parking usually. Come along and have a chat and a coffee, talk about business, charities, communities, everything that's going on in the area. Come along, and I look forward to seeing you then.
Okay, that's great. As I said, it's time for a restaurant review. Now, I suppose really I should just say take your pick.
You make it sound like I eat out every night, Diane. That's not true. Not quite true, anyway. But I'm going to mention one particular place today because it's just down the road from where we live. The Tudor Arms, which is somewhere that's obviously it's our local pub. It's about 5 minutes walk away from us. We have been there a lot over the last few years. We used to go there a lot when the kids were small. They've got a great play area in the garden, which we used to frequent in the summer months. But we didn't really sort of go indoors much. We know it's been refurbished very recently. It's been taken over by some new management, a new manager there, and also our daughter started working there. So we started getting some rather nice reports about what it was like inside, the atmosphere, and obviously the food and drinks that they're serving as well. They serve some good real ales. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but it's a Green King pub. So anybody who's into their ales can probably work that one out. But the food is good as well. We had a meal. They've got a dining area that's separate to at one of the main two bars. There's a bar area that's got pool table darts and things for people who want to be active in the evening. There's another slightly quieter bar when the football isn't on the TV screens, with a variety of seating areas. So you can have a little niche, you can have a sofa, you can have a stool at one of the taller tables. We were in the dining room, which again is a nice quiet area. If you want to sit and have a meal and a chat and a drink with someone, then that's the place to be. The food was great, all your usual sort of favourite pub meals, plus one or two different things. There was a really nice mushroom starter with blue cheese that I could recommend. But yeah, overall it was a fantastic evening. We had a lovely time, and we'll definitely be back. So that's the Tudor Arms in Bushy Mill Lane.
Okay, well that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for that, and thank you to Missenden Abbey Conference Centre for hosting the conference today and allowing us to hang around and broadcast the show. It hasn't perhaps gone quite as quietly as one would normally wish, but I would like to thank Chris and Neal, who both had to sign off from the show, and also of course thank Tania and Catherine for their contributions today. And we will be back next week in a more usual kind of arrangement with more news from Southwest Herts concerning Link for Growth and other local news and events, be it from the councils or from charities or from whoever. And if you do have anything that you want to add and comment on, then please get in touch with us at L4G SW Herts on Twitter. That's at L4G SW Herts. So if you've got any thoughts and comments, that'd be really great. And we look forward to hearing from you soon. And on that note, it's time to say cheerio and thank you very much.
Thanks, Diane.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Whoa. Bye-bye.